This is Kim, and this is my project for IEC 509 on a disability. The disability that I chose is called Leigh's disease, or sometimes called Leigh's necrotizing encephalopathy, Leigh's syndrome, subacute necrotizing encephalopathy, or SNE. Leigh's disease is a degeneration of the central nervous system. It's caused by mutations in the mitochondrial DNA or deficiencies in an enzyme called pyruvate dehydrogenase. Mitochondria are part of every cell in the human body except for red blood cells. This is mitochondria right here. They create 90% of all of the energy needed by the body to sustain life. When they fail, less and less energy is generated within the cell, and this can lead to entire systems to fail. The symptoms of this disease typically begin between 3 months and 2 years of life. The most common first symptoms are poor sucking, loss of head control, loss of motor skills, and acquired skills. Children who have this may experience a loss of appetite, vomiting, irritability, continuous crying, and seizures. The disease typically progresses rapidly, and it may also include generalized weakness, a lack of muscle tone, and episodes of lactic acidosis. And these can lead to respiratory, kidney, and heart problems for the child. Rare cases begin during late adolescence or early adulthood, and those tend to progress more slowly. This disease is caused by either an inherited X-linked dominant gene, which is carried by males only, an autosomal recessive gene, which can be from the mother or father, or sometimes it's a maternal gene only. And some cases are just spontaneous. They're not really sure why they occur, and there's some theory that they could be linked to viruses or something having to do with the virus. It can only be diagnosed by an MRI if there's visible necrotizing, like dead or dying tissue in the brain, or lesions in the brain, particularly in the midbrain or brain stem. And sometimes it is only diagnosed after an autopsy, when there are specific criteria present. The incidence, it's not really clear, but one estimate is 1 in 77,000 births. But this may be an underestimate because mitochondrial diseases tend to be misdiagnosed and underdiagnosed. The prognosis of this disease, more severe cases, children usually die within a year or two. Milder cases, children sometimes live into their teens, and if it's adult onset, then typically people live longer. Some of the interventions that seem to work to help children with some of the symptoms are B1 supplements, a high-fat, low-carb diet, and it's very important that they get proper medical care. Some of the issues that children face that have this disease are developmental delays, feeding problems, palsies, blindness, movement issues, and respiration problems. Emotional support is really key for families that deal with this disease because many of these children have been developing typically for a year or 2 years, and then these symptoms come on, and they're dealing with this after they've gone through a couple of years without having to deal with it. So parent-to-parent support is very important, and they usually try to link either families that, where the child has this disease or something similar, another mitochondrial disease. Children may need assistive equipment due to their issues with mobility, with the lack of muscle control and motor skills, and child care is sometimes hard for these families to find because of all the issues that the children face. So it's really important that education for families, caregivers, and friends, and people in the community. Some of the resources that I found that I thought had some real good information. There is the Leigh Center for Children, and it's part of the Mitochondrial and Metabolic Disease Center at the University of California at San Diego. CLIMB is an organization, Children Living with Inherited Metabolic Diseases. The March of Dimes had information. NINDS, the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, or the United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation.
Why are we here and where do we go? And how come we're so hard? It's not always easy and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're